What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. So, you can see we're down here at the sheep paddock, and I've got my 8 wool bales loaded up. I honestly couldn't remember if I have sold wool on this farm before this point. If not, I've only gotten 8 wool bales in 2.5 years. Not wonderful, right? Well, anyway, the reason we're down here is, if we look over here, no sheep. A full feeding trough, but no sheep. I have sold the sheep to Mike, as I mentioned in the last episode. We settled on a price, $100 a head, which is $50 cheaper than the actual in-game sale price. I thought that was fair. So he came down this morning and picked them up, gave me a call. I was over with Phil working on some cranky hydraulics on the Claas. And he gave me a call and said, hey, I want to come down and pick up those sheep. Can I do that? Absolutely. So he came down, he wrote me a check. So $3,000, no need to wire it. You could just write me a check. It's fine. Picked up the sheep, and the sheep are gone. So then I decided, well, okay, Phil, you keep messing with these hydraulics. I'm going to go up to the sheep paddock. I'm going to collect the wool. We're going to get down to DeKalb and sell that, because that goes to DeKalb as well. Pretty much everything of this sort goes to DeKalb. Make a little bit of money, hopefully. And then we've got bales to pick up and bales to stack. So we might as well go ahead and get on the road. I'm going to apologize right now if this is a little more laggy than usual. I don't know what's going on. You can see by the real time mod there, it's 11:30 in the morning in the real world. I have been up since about 7:30, doing my morning stuff and everything. We got a lot of snow here in New England the last couple of days, so I've been pretty busy outside, with snow and stuff. And then, last night we had the multiplayer, last night being Monday night, we had the multiplayer. Where am I going? I never go out this way, so I don't know where I'm going. And then this morning, I had some stuff I had to do that I hadn't had a chance to get to over the last couple days. So I sat down about 9 o'clock to record, and the game was just so laggy. So I reset my computer. I did a bunch of stuff. It's a little better now, but I don't know what it was doing. I have no idea. So if it's a little stuttery, I apologize. Again, I am working on getting a new one. It's just coming up with the money. So it's basically money for a down payment. And as soon as I have it, I will get the new computer, and hopefully all my sort of stuttery, laggy issues will be gone. But anyway, Perry had brought the telehandler, I had to remember who it was, had brought the telehandler down to Meadow 8 to pick up the bales, because I figured, well, I've got the bale trailer, because all I do is put up sides to put on some pallets, strap them down, and off we go. So he brought the telehandler down to Meadow 8 so we can pick up those bales. We've got the bales at the storage meadow to pick up. We'll pick those all up, bring them back to the dairy, get them stacked up along with the other bales that we have. I would really like to get some slurry down on these meadows as well. Another thing, and I think I mentioned this in the last episode too, I have Mike checking on whether or not we can plow the council meadows and replant them as grass. Now, obviously, part of the sort of, when those were left to this area, left to the farmers, by the original landowner, part of the deal was that they were always used for agricultural purposes. So I think if I understand those rules, that we should be allowed to plow them up and replant them as grass. And the only reason I want to do that is because, and I'm willing to do it, I'm sure Mike will do his end, I'll do my end, the only reason I want to do that is because the grass has been there for a very long time. And what happens is, after years and years of mowing and years of equipment running over it, balers and everything else, bale trailers, tractors, it gets really compacted, and the roots become so tangled, and they instead of looking like strands, like webs, they end up becoming giant balls, because they're just trying to grab onto whatever nutrients they can grab onto in whatever area they can actually get to. So I think it wouldn't be a bad idea, and having a talk with Nick and Chad about this too, it wouldn't be a bad idea to run a subsoiler through them all. I'm definitely going to do my meadows after this year. So run a subsoiler through them, break up the ground as much as possible, plow it, and then reseed it. Obviously, we will reseed it. Obviously, that's on my nickel if I do it, but that's fine. I don't have an issue with that, only because it's going to end up helping me in the long run. So I went the wrong way. Darn it. It doesn't really matter. I can go to DeKalb this way. I would just prefer not to drive by my giant field of lag beans over here, but okay. It's funny how some crops cause lag and some don't. Alfalfa, bad, right? We all know, at least for me. The soybeans are causing a little bit of lag too, but then I've had lag all morning and I don't know why. I can't chase it down. I know I've got a couple of errors in the map that I think are kicking off, that the game is trying to do something that it can't do. And I think it's just constantly reading. So I think I need to get in and fix a couple of things, you know. And it's funny because they just popped up because I didn't have this problem, you know, yesterday or the day before yesterday. They just literally popped up just now. So, okay, well, that's fine. I guess we will figure it all out, you know, and hopefully get back to normal operation here. The map functions, it works, you know. That's my worst fear, is that all of a sudden this map will break and it won't load, or something will, you know, something will screw up, and I'll be like, oh, you know, 200 plus hours on this version since the rebuild, easily 300 or 400 hours on it since I've started playing on it. You know, 112 episodes now. I do not want to lose this map, so. But I don't mind getting lost on the way to DeKalb, though, do I? That's okay. I think we have to go in the back anyway, so it's not to get to the wool place, so it's not that big of a deal. Or do I need to go? Can I go in this way? This is technically OEB over here, right? But can I can't go through here to get to DeKalb, can I? Shows you how much stuff I bring to OEB, huh? I don't sell a lot of stuff to OEB. You know, that's Mike's supplier, really. So, nope. I think I need to go in here actually. Now, again, not being particularly well versed on how wool gets sold. This is the milk end, right? This is the milk end, and there's no connection between this and the other side. Yep, nope, okay. Oh, BP, really? I mean, obviously you can tell I don't sell wool very often, right? So, in fact, this may be the first and last time I sell wool. I just realized I don't have my beacons on either. Came all the way down from the sheep paddock without my beacons on. I'm trying to get a ticket. This is episode 112, not episode 113, which, as we all know, anything that ends in 13 is going to be an issue, right? So I should be okay, but I'm already lost. I don't deal with wool, you know. And this is the reason I decided to sell the sheep, was it just wasn't making any sense, you know, financially. All they were doing was eating, and they weren't making a lot of wool, so there wasn't really any point to it. Here we go. Found it. I could have just came in that entrance right there. Why I didn't, I don't know. Now, does it go in this one, or does it go... I think it's this one over here. Yep, it's this one. Okay. Now, question here is, how is this going to work out? I know that when you put stuff on this trailer, and then when you pick your unload side, you know, because this is obviously the DPW-180, the auto load trailer that loads just about everything. A lot of times these bales will go completely crazy, so we'll find out. It doesn't matter, I guess. Once they're on the trigger, it'll just pull them off anyway, so it won't really matter all that much if they go nuts a little bit. So we will, although we could probably actually unload them, couldn't we? Let's try that. Let's see if we can unload them. No? Why can't I unload them? Oh, because it's O. Ah, wrong side. Really? I need to go the other side. Hit B, M. Back. No, back could work, but let's go right. Let's try that. There we go. There we go. $4,828. A pallet, right? Wow, we actually made a fair amount of money off of that. Jeez. We only had $38,000 to begin with. Did I make a mistake? Did I make a mistake? Should I have maybe invested in a lot more sheep? I don't know. Oh, it's one of those. Now I'm like, I think I might have screwed up. We just made about, well, we had 8 bales. We made $32,000, almost, oh no, like $34,000 altogether. I maybe should have had to think about that, I guess. Well, what's done is done. They're gone now. That's okay. You know, more grass for the cows. The way I look at that. So, all right. Well, anyway, let's go up and get these bales. We'll get the bales off 8. We'll get the bales off the storage meadow. We'll bring them back. We'll get them stacked up. Hopefully, probably what will happen is in this episode, we'll get the bales back. We'll get them stacked up. In the next episode, we'll slurry those meadows, and then I'll get either Perry or Phil cutting another meadow somewhere. Because like I said, I plan on cutting every meadow that I have access to, the council meadows, my meadows. And of course, they're all going to need some kind of nutrients. They're all going to need slurry. The pig and the beef animals need to be sold. They need to be mucked out. You know, always lots and lots and lots of stuff to do, as you would expect. So Mike has built a silage bunker up, well, silage silo actually, up on in his sheep paddock, which is interesting, you know, because everybody sort of talks about silage, you know, and the ways to store it and stuff. And the silos are a little sketchy in the sense that a lot of fumes can build up in them, you know, and they can actually explode, you know. But he's apparently bought a used one that's in really good shape. It's got a good ventilation system and everything, so he's not too worried about it, you know. So my flock will be eating very well up there apparently. So I know he's been wanting to get up to about 150 sheep, so this will help. I just didn't have the resources really to go much more than I had. You know, I would have loved to gone to 100 sheep, but I just don't think I could have sustained that size of a flock, along with the pigs, the beef, and you know the dairy cows. So obviously, dairy cows are my sort of main focus, right? I'm really a dairy farmer who grows a little bit of arable stuff too, is what I am, you know. But when I first got here, I was more of an arable farmer who did a little bit of dairy, and now that's kind of reversed around again. So okay, so now the first thing I need to do is switch this back over so that I'll collect my bales. Where do I want to put this? I think right there will be perfect. All right, switch this over. It's really laggy here, guys. I am sorry about that. X. Tree saplings, no. Board pallets, no. Ross boxes, no. Viable blades, no. No. Egg pallets, no. Greenhouse pallets. God, this thing holds so much stuff. Nope. I need grass bales. Hay bales. Damn it, I went by it. Oh, I can go backwards. I forgot about that. Z. Standard hay round bale. There we go. Okay, very good. Now, if I hit this, it may pick up a bale, so don't be surprised. All right. Now we'll jump in the JCB. Get that fired up. Enable automatic loading, because that's how I'm going to do this. I mean, it isn't going to take very long. There's not very many bales on these meadows, so I'm just stymied about this end. You know, again, it's probably soil compaction. The end can't get down to the level of the roots of the grass, you know what I mean? Or the roots can't get down to the level of the end, but I believe it's probably the other way around, where the end is probably, you know what, let's do this again. Where the end is probably stuck at a level because of soil compaction that it can't, you know, move down through to the growing level of the grass, so, or the root level of the grass, I should say. And that's probably what's going on. And so, going to need to get a subsoiler in here, get them plowed up and all that. So, there we go. Get some new grass planted down here. You know, it's been a long time. I've never done it. I don't know when the last time it was done. You know, before I took over this farm, I have no idea. So, I know I've been here for, you know, a little over 4 years now. I've used these meadows extensively. You know, so. Whoa, what are we doing here? Why aren't you picking up this bale? Jeez. That's just lag, right? That's the lag, not the game not catching up with where the actual bale fork was. I don't have the good sun now to show. Well, I sort of do. Actually. I sort of do. I sort of have a shadow there to show me where the bales want to go. Not that it really matters, because the trailer will take care of it for me. So we should be able to get all the bales from both meadows on this trailer. Again, how many did we end up with? Like 12, I think, altogether. A very small amount, anyway. I just need to get the N in these fields. I wonder if I should run a subsoiler. I don't want to tear them up now because I know I'm going to need them, you know. I'm sort of stuck here because they're not great, right? But they're not so bad that I feel like I need to do it right now, you know. I kind of am under the feeling that I can sort of wait till the end of the year to do it. No, I didn't want you to pick. Oh, awesome, yeah. What's the story with that? Why do we have one weird one there? Okay, very good. Whatever. It'll fix that anyway, so. Okay, now, I'm going to try Follow Me again, and I'm going to actually drive the telehandler because I got some good suggestions about how Follow Me is not crazy about four-wheel steer, and I could have put it on two-wheel steer, you know, which I should do when I'm going down the road anyway, but I never remember, so. Okay, that's going to annoy me, and I want to fix it. So I'm going to fix that. There we go. That's better. That was just annoying me. Having that one strap there, you know. So I'll drive the telehandler. Phil can drive the case. Oh. And a little Control F. We'll go down to Storage Meadow, and I need to lower that a little bit. Nope, forward. Thank you. Now remember, he's pulling a trailer, so give him a little room to turn. So he doesn't hook a post or something. Yeah, we'll get over here in Mow Meadow 9 probably tomorrow or later today, I should say. So Phil's had enough of kind of, you know, with his elbows up to his elbows in grease and whatnot. He was like, no. He says, you know what? So he called Perry and he's like, you come over and do this. I'm gonna go with BP and I'm gonna haul bales. You know, we do maintenance as often as we can, obviously. You know, and stuff needs to be maintained. Hydraulic hoses need to be checked, and you know, fittings sometimes need to be changed and things like that. And it's always the little stuff. It's a bolt here, it's a pin there, you know. But if you don't take care of it, it'll build up, and then you'll have some huge problem, and you'll be like, oh, I really need to use this piece of equipment right now, and you won't be able to. So, you know, it's the balls on the end of 3 points. You know, it's the attachment points. It's all that sort of stuff that you run through, you check to make sure it's all in good shape when you have the time. So, and with everything planted now, we have the time to do it. You know, now it's just going to be a lot of mowing and baling and bale hauling and bale stacking and spraying and mucking out of animals. You know, I make it sound like we don't have anything to do. Oh no, there's plenty to do. Plenty of stuff to do, without a doubt. You still with me back there, Phil? Yes, you are. Good job. I don't really like going around this way, but I figured since we were on this side of the parish, we might as well go this way. Wouldn't have made any sense to go all the way back through the dairy and around that way, so. Yeah, I really wish I knew what was causing this lag. I don't know. I know that the computer was on all night, which is something I don't normally like to do. I don't leave my computer running, constantly. When I'm done using it, I shut it off. But last night, because it was a long day, so I didn't get a chance to record. I knew I was going to play multiplayer with Shawnee B and Mirman last night. Scuderia couldn't make it again, which was unfortunate. We really miss you, Scuderia. Can't wait for you to come back. So I knew I was going to play with them last night, so I was like, okay, well, I'll have a video. Problem is I have to record on Fraps, with multiplayer, because of TeamSpeak and all that, and it takes forever to render a Fraps video, at least for me. So it was a late night, and I was like, okay, now it's 11 o'clock, 11:30 before it's done rendering. It's going to take all night to upload. You know what? I just got it uploading, went to bed, let the computer do what it wanted to. I think it wasn't happy about that. So, all right, now. Well, ultimately, we might as well use some of this nice new flat land we have here. And, Phil, you can park right here, my friend. Are you going to be able to come in far enough here? I'll pull up a little bit. So he has enough room to get straight and everything. That'll do. That will do just nicely. Thank you very much. Right shift and F. Thank you. Nope, not that. Not that. That would not be right shift anyway. This would be right shift. Thank you. You can turn that off. Jump back in the cab. Or you're not going to follow me, right? No. Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't actually going to follow me. Make sure I actually got it right. Okay. There we go. You're still there? Yep. Pick up some bales. Pick up some bales. Oh, do I have to... Did I not hit V? I didn't hit V. My bad. I have to get away from the trigger of the big... I forget when you fold it up, it automatically deactivates the... or unenables, is that a word? The automatic loading, which makes sense, right? You would expect it to do that, so... I probably had to put those pylons down, too. I don't need them up that high, so... I only need them that high for when I'm doing straw. Oh, I need to set him on automatic loading, too, though. Because we all know BP's not putting these bales on this trailer without auto load, so... Let me get that set up. So nothing weird happens. Start automatic loading, please. Thank you. Oh, yes, I know. I'm sorry. That's an awesome feature, though. I definitely like that feature of that sound pack. So, do you want to auto load these? Oh yeah, I forgot. I have to unlock them first. Yeah, big silly. I got to make sure I move back fast enough to. This is where this lag kind of causes a problem, because what'll happen is you'll back away far enough away that it'll reset the little timer that it uses to know when to go live again to pick up bales automatically, and you'll end up pulling the bales back off the trailer again. This meadow. I mean, the PK is awesome, but the N is just not. You know, and Nick is sort of the same opinion, that he thinks that these meadows are just so compacted, and that the root layer is so wadded up that the roots can't get to the end, and the end can't get to the roots. So hopefully, like I said, Mike's going to check to see if the council is going to let us, do that. Let us plow them up. Let us subsoil them. Let us replant them. I don't know why they'd have a problem with it. You know what I mean? This grass is meant for us anyway. So, and we're not saying, hey, you got to do it. You know what I mean? You got to pay for it or anything. We're not saying that. So we're doing it. We're willing to pay for it and all that. So I don't know why they wouldn't let us do it. Start loading this side of the trailer, I guess. There we go. Geez, we're gonna get one row of bales off. I mean, bales. Gonna get up here and just bomb these fields with slurry, I guess. Not gonna have any choice. I mean, I gotta have these fields in good shape. So these meadows, they gotta be. I need this grass. All right, that's all of them, correct? That is all of them, right? Yep, I got them all. Yes, I do. Jeez. That's just, it's awful. It's so bad. Get this loaded, head back to the dairy, get them stacked up, and then in the next episode, we will be slurrying these meadows. Perry or Phil will be cutting a meadow or two somewhere, and I will probably be spraying, I would imagine. Going to take a look at the soil moisture. Soil moisture's been pretty good on a lot of these meadows. You can see, the meadows are good. The fields are not in awful shape, so boy, it'd be awesome if I didn't have to spray too much water this year. That would be fantastic. No, okay, no. Hit V, fold that up. It'll disconnect itself anyway. All right, so what do we get here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 bales off of 2 meadows. I should have got 10 bales off of this meadow. But I didn't, so you might as well stop complaining about it, BP, and just fix it. Oh, I'm in the wrong camera view. All right, we'll get him set up to follow us again. Back to the dairy. Stop auto load. Oh, this lag, this stutter. It's not even so much lag. It's just stuttery enough to be annoying, you know. But okay, again, you know, there's not much I can do about that for whatever reason. So, all right, here we go down the road. You turn that off. Less stuff on the screen, the better. Back to the dairy. I could have went the other way through the pig and beef facility and down the bumpy track, but I just know that that it's so hard to make a turn with the bale trailer on that road onto that bridge, so I don't want to annoy Phil, because he'll call me and be like, thanks. He'll call and yell at me, so, and I wouldn't blame him. Oh, sorry about getting quiet there. I was thinking, it's funny, you know, sometimes you'll be driving or whatever, and I do this in ATS too. I'll be driving and all of a sudden I'll realize, wow, I've been quiet for a while, you know, and because I was thinking about something. You know, obviously I've made, what, nearly 600 videos, right? So, you know, I tend to do the same things in every video, right? I tend to do that where I'm like, oh, middle of a sentence and forget what I was talking about or whatever. Or I'll start thinking about something and get quiet for 5 minutes, you know. It's kind of a theme with my videos, I guess. See, now the lag gets worse up here, and I don't know why. There's nothing new up here. There's nothing different. It's the same. I haven't done anything to this map for quite a while, so I don't know what's going on. Gonna have to have. I had to look through the log. I wasn't getting any errors, so, you know, or any errors that haven't been there for a while anyway. I do have a couple of errors, not in the map though, just in mods, you know, that, whatever. They're not, an error, I mean, errors suck, right? Errors are not great no matter what, but they're not, you know, game enders by any means, so. You still with me there? I need to get away from these cars, because what'll happen is he'll weave around a little bit, and he'll crash into one of these cars, and then I'll have a huge insurance claim to deal with. So, cannot have that. Well, I'll tell you what I was thinking about. I was thinking about, have I made a mistake about selling those sheep? I didn't realize. Now, again, it took a long time. I don't know what it, you know, if I could break down what it cost to make the money off of those wool pallets, you know, I bet it cost almost as much as I made to, you know, to generate that wool in the first place, between, you know, diesel and labor and fertilizer for grass and everything else, right? You know, I bet it probably cost every bit as much to get the wool as the wool brought in. So, okay, you know, like the milk, you know, we all know the milk costs twice as much as it brings in. But being a dairy farmer is something that I fully enjoy. Something that, you know, it's always, this is an agricultural dairy area. I don't want to stop being a dairy farmer, you know. Being a sheep herder, I was not all that attached to anyway. It was just an additional source of revenue, you know, and I was hanging on as long as I could. But, you know, when Mike expressed some interest in increasing his flock, and I realized that, you know, I wasn't really looking to hold on to mine anymore, it was a good fit, so. Oh, let's go make a pile of bales, I guess, because you know BP. You'd be lucky if it'll be a stack. Go make a pile of lag, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Everything's so laggy. I wonder if it's this damn tank. That's the only thing that's new. That's the only thing that's new, is that tank. So, I don't know what it could be. I don't know. Farm Sim hates me, I guess. What else could it be? So, just give me a second to kill that. Tired of that. Get that same telemarketer call every single day, like 4 or 5 times a day. You know, and they give you the option to push the button to get off the list or whatever, but they never actually take you off the list. So they're gonna get a BP lesson in a minute, and they're not gonna like it. Trust me. Okay, you can stop there. You can stop. Now, if I unload these right here, it's going to be a giant mess. So, what I'm going to do is... I wonder if I unload these on a trailer, if they'll fly everywhere. I suppose we could find out, huh? Let's find out. What side is it on now? The right. Where's that going to put them? Oh, that's actually not bad, but can we put them on the other side? Then I won't have to move the trailer. It took 2 from the other stack. That's funny. Yes, thank you. M. Trailer. What's going to happen if I do this? Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't. Okay, well, we'll just go to the other side then. I did stop the auto load. Jeez. Unload. Thank you. That'll do. And again, that's just a function of the lag. The game not being able to catch up with what I'm trying to do. So, all right, let's get these 31 minutes. Let's get some bales picked up. Anyway. Enable automatic loading. Oh, yes. Thank you. Turn around here. This is, again, can we park every piece of equipment? Could I park every piece of equipment I own over here, even though I have all these empty sheds? And that could very well be what's causing this lag, too. I have a lot of equipment over here. I need to start. I have all these empty sheds over in the main farm. I don't know why I don't use them. It just seems like it for some reason, to me, it makes more sense to park everything over here, which is not great. Reverse. Control lag. I mean, oh, lag. Well, you know what you're going to read in the description of this video. BP collects and stacks bales and complains about lag. What else is new, right? What else is new? I wasn't completely stopped, so they didn't unlock. No. Saw that coming. That's bad. Luckily, this thing, like I said, except for the lag, turns really well, so I can turn right around in the space of this shed. So, oh, this is so awful. Why is this so bad? I don't understand. There's nothing going on over here. Except for maybe I guess it's the equipment. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. I know that used to happen in Farm Sim 13. If you got a bunch of equipment in a small area, you would definitely lag out. I haven't had that problem in Farm Sim 15 up until now. So I just wonder if it's his trailer. I'm almost tempted to sell this manure trailer just to see if it's that or not. You know, I know I'm jumping in and out of character here a bunch, but when stuff like this happens, you kind of have to, you know, because I need to diagnose this problem, obviously. So I can't have this. This is ridiculous. I'm not moving, though. See? Jeez. Yeah. That's perfect. Yep, no. Let's make a huge mess right in the first part of the stack. Then there's a little bit of a depression there, so they roll into the depression. It's fine. To be honest, you guys know I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care one way or the other. So, you know what, guys? 34 minutes of this. I think I'm gonna have to call this an episode right here. What I'm going to do is I'll finish these off screen, and I'm going to do some hardcore diagnosing and seeing what's going on, why I'm getting so much lag, why does Farm Sim hate me so much lately. You know, if I have to move all my equipment around, I have all the empty sheds over in the main farm, so I'll do that. You know, I'm going to try to sell this trailer too and see if it's this that's causing the lag. I don't know, because it wasn't causing the lag last time, so I don't know what's causing it. But anyway, thanks for coming, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, even with the lag, you know what I mean? As always, your comments, your suggestions, your tips, your insights, you know, anything you guys want to leave me, you guys know you're always welcome to leave me all your, I'm not moving. Jeez. All your ideas, your suggestions, your tips. Like I said, you know, sorry, again, getting all unfocused, right? I can feel my focus slipping away because I'm starting to get a little frustrated. Thank you so much for coming to the channel, for liking, for commenting, for subscribing, for being my friends. Even through crappy videos like this one, you guys still stick around, you still watch them, you still, you know, enjoy them, and that means more to me than you guys could possibly know. Thank you so very much. And anything else? I don't think so. Let me apologize one more time for the really bad quality of this video. I do apologize for this one because there's no excuse for this. This is something that's happened in the last couple of hours that I really need to diagnose, and I'll figure it out, I promise. And as always, guys, thanks so much for making me a part of your YouTube day, and this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.